the morning, keep me warm and nothing else, nothing more important. Makes me wanna believe in love.
Hello, so my name's Camila, and on this video we're gonna be talking about genetics influencing behavior. So, genetics is a field of study exploring how genes are going to influence personality. The two most basic influences on behavior are genes, being the chemical instructions that people inherit from their biological parents, from the parents' DNA, and the second one would be the environment, being all the other non-inherited factors. So whatever is manageable to get from the environment. One aspect from genetics is heritability. Heritability is the proportion of the total of variances in a trait that can be assigned to genetic factors. An easier way of explaining this is that heritability tells us how large of an impact nature can have in comparison to nurture. To understand this better, nature is the biological or genetic influences on life. Meanwhile, nurture is gonna be environmental influences on development, which would mean that heritability is going to be what tells us basically how large of an impact genetic influences have on our daily basis, on our human lives, in comparison to an environmental influences in our lives. Heritability can be seen through twin studies, which we see it from the Bouchard and other researchers in 1999. In this study, they used a sample of over 100 sets of monozygotic twins. These are the twins that are equal, they're the same, and they also used identical twins raised together and not raised together. They also used dizygotic twins, which they're fraternal twins raised together or apart. They were from all around the world and were either raised apart or together, like I said. The sample was media coverage to recruit the sample, and it was self-selected. The aim of this study was to determine the extent to which intelligence is related to genetic or environment, so nature or nurture. The methodology was that the Minnesota twin study was a longitudinal study that involves about an approximate of 50 hours of psychological and physiological testing using an intelligence test called WAIS. We're gonna be showing an example right
in the morning, keep me warm and nothing else, nothing more important. Makes me wanna believe in love.
Okay, open the door, walk out, and then come back in.
Okay, I'll need you to open the door, walk out, and then come back in.
Wait, are you slipping? Give it to me. Give it to me.
So what you guys just saw on the last clip was an example of how the studies went, like how they did this test to the twins, and it was a pair of monozygotic twins and also a pair of dizygotic twins. We showed that in an example, and the results of this study showed a concordance rate of intelligence from what it was the same person had an 87%. The monozygotic twins shared a heritability of 76%. The dizygotic twins, though, they didn't share that much. They just shared 55%. Siblings reared together, so that grew up together, was a 47%. So we see that the environment doesn't really have such a big impact on the behavior being intelligence shown here. So we could say that heritability is going to, that nature is going to affect more than nurture, for example, in the behavior being intelligence, because we see that from them being raised together, it didn't have that much of an impact. Meanwhile, the twins that share the same genes, the same everything, had a 76% share of intelligence. So we can see that it has a lot to do with nature. This study can be linked back to the genetic influence behavior, since it shows how the heritability has been shown having intelligence being the behavior influences from the twins, either being fraternal twins or identical twins, from their environment or genetics. Because 70% of intelligence was attributed from genetic inheritance, it goes back to heritability being nature. In this case, nature has impacted more than nurture in their influence for behavior, being genetics the ones that have influenced more on the behavior of the twins. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful day.